And now it's my honor and privilege to introduce the IAFF, International Association of Firefighter General President, my personal friend, great labor leader, Harold Schaitberger.
Thank you, Bob. And you know, I've done this for a while, and I am sick and tired of getting fooled that I'm going to allegedly be, you know, the final speaker before the next mayor, and find myself once again following Terry O'Sullivan and Lee Saunders, and then trying to figure out what in the hell left is there to say. I am really proud to be here. And first of all, normally I see all of our colors, our gold and black, but for all our firefighters today who are wearing their blue I voted shirts instead of their gold and black, are you in the house, brothers? Thank you for everything you do. Let me, Becky, I also want to just thank you. Where'd you go? I want to thank you for being a great leader in the state of Texas, representing workers, working families, of the AFL-CIO, and all of labor, and the work you do. Congratulations. And I really do want to say to my two brothers, we've been together a long time, and we usually end up in the same contrarian place when it comes to issues and politics and trying to make a difference for the men and women that work every day for a living, and trying to do the best they can for a good career and their families. There's not two better labor leaders anywhere across this planet. Outspoken, innovative, creative, tough, the metal to the core, waking up every day to make a difference for all of you and all of those that work with their hands, and an honest day's work for an honest day's wages. And that's Terry O'Sullivan and Lee Saunders. I am proud to be your guest. I just want to say to you, and another shout out to my brother, our president of 624 in San Antonio, Chris Steele. I always say that, you know, we have the privilege of being the presidents of some pretty big operations. But I've never thought that the toughest job in my union was my job. 300,000 members, 3,400 locals, 50 states, 7 provinces. I know that tough work in this labor movement, for those of you that hold local union office and my leadership at the local union level, it's in the trenches every day, working to make a difference. And so I want to thank you and all of you for what you do on behalf of the men and women of the labor movement and all workers across our great country. Now, I guess what I'm left to tell you is, you really don't need me to tell you why we're here today. I know that you're here because the people who work for a living here in Austin are right on the verge of knocking on the door of having one of our very own lead this great city. And I also know you don't need me to preach to you why electing one of our own as the next mayor of Boston is important. You don't need me to talk about why it's important to have a mayor that knows what it's like to be a worker, to work for a living, to fight for a decent wage. And you don't need me to try to remind you what it takes to have the ability to fight for those that try to simply take care of their families, put their children through school, to be treated fairly, in a human way, and in a civil rights way, and as workers in this great country. You don't need me telling you that, and you don't need me to tell you about the importance of having someone work on behalf of you having a decent retirement at the end of a working career, and either service to your community, like my members, or service to your citizens and your trades, like all of you. Now, you don't need me to rail on about what it means to have a mayor that's willing to fight for equality, or one who has spent his career working for fairness in the workplace. and to making sure that everyone has a fair shake in this society that has seen more and more the economic and financial distance between the haves and the have-nots spread at a level that we haven't seen since the early 1900s. You don't need me to tell you that because I know you know what's at stake. I don't need to roll in here and remind you how important this campaign and who's going to be the next mayor of Austin is going to mean to you, each one of you. And I know that you believe in your hearts that the difference right now is who's going to be put in the office of mayor for the city of Austin. Who's going to make a difference in the capital city of a great state and for all the citizens in this community. We're not here because you need me to explain to you the importance of this election, or you wouldn't be here right now today. But I tell you what we are here to do, and I am here to suggest to you, is that we just don't need to know how important this is. We need to be ready to make the effort, to make the commitment, and to do the hard work that it's going to take in the next 6 days to make a difference for the working families, the working class, and men and women of the labor movement here in Austin. We're here to make it our job over these next 6 days, not me, but all of you, to make sure that the voters everywhere in Austin know what you already know. That it'll be a great day when we finally have someone who has worked for a living to be in the mayor's office at City Hall. Someone who will know what it's like to get up every single day and simply do your job, and simply hoping that you'll have a little piece and a chance for that American dream. Now, I've personally known Mike Martinez for a long time, a number of years. And I know Mike in an early age, like so many of us, he chose to go on what we call the job. He went to work as an Austin firefighter. And he offered himself up to protect its citizens. Yes, to save their lives, to protect their property and the businesses in this community. He's proven his willingness to take on a tough and dangerous job. And as a young president of Austin Firefighters Local 975, he also understood the importance of equality, when necessarily everybody wasn't willing to embrace it, working to ensure that there were equal facilities in every firehouse for the women of the Austin Fire Department. He led an incredible and successful campaign to secure collective bargaining rights so the city's workers would have a chance to have a voice in their economic security. To have the safety and pride on their job. And he made it a priority to make sure that this fire department, and yes, focusing on my trade and my profession, had the staffing, had the men and women it takes to do this very tough job, and to ensure that our neighborhoods were protected. Mike worked with neighborhood groups and legislators to also make sure that the wildfires that ravage this country understand the dangers, but more importantly, to make sure that we have the detection systems and the protocols to protect all of you. And yes, in 2006, he took that commitment to another level, became a member of this city council, feeling that City Hall should work for the people, work for you. And he launched a grassroots effort and won a seat on Austin City Council. I just want to remind you, it was Mike Martinez who led the fight against special interests and held corporations accountable for paying a living wage. And it was Mike Martinez who fought for equal pay for equal work to make sure that women in Austin didn't fall behind their male counterparts. It was Mike Martinez who protected Austin from environmental polluters and cracked down on those predatory payday lenders who make their disgusting living overcharging those that can afford it the least for precious dollars that they work so hard for. And now it's up to all of you at the doorstep of having one of our own who has known hard work for his entire life, and someone who spent the early part of his career in great service to this city, and someone as a member of the political and elected community has proven his track record that he knows how to solve problems. And now, on the doorstep of becoming the mayor of this capital city, someone who will bring true experience and leadership to its highest office. Sisters and brothers, we can help assure that Austin's citizens, all of its citizens, can have a mayor who has a record of caring, leading, and leaving no one behind. And we have 6 days to do it. We have 6 days to begin a new chapter for this city. The question is, are you ready to write that chapter?
Yeah!
So it's time to make some history. Are you ready to make some history? Yeah! And it is time to show the pundits and the prognosticators who may think you can't what you can do. Are you ready to show them what you can do?
Yeah!
Well, then it's my great pleasure, and it's time for the 11th largest city in the United States, the capital of the great Lone Star State, to have a leader who has worked in the trenches, worked on the front lines, worked in City Hall to make it equal an opportunity for everyone. So let's get this 6 days started right now by welcoming my friend, my brother, your brother, and the next mayor of Austin, Mike Martinez.
Now this is a union rally.
Yeah!
I got this great 5-page speech here that my buddy Bo Delp spent a lot of work on, and unfortunately after these 3 speakers, the speech isn't going to do it justice. Thank you all so much for being here. To the general presidents of these international unions, to our local presidents, thank you all so much for your support. To the members that bust their butts every day protecting, serving, and building our city. You all are the reason I'm running for mayor of Austin. So that we will have for the first time ever, we will have a union president, a former city employee, former firefighter, sitting at the head of government of Austin, Texas, as it should be. For 23 years, I'm in my 23rd year of serving this city. I don't know anything else other than to serve my community. And for that entire time, I've been a loyal, dedicated union member. I'm currently a member of AFSCME Local 1624. And I'm proud to say that I'm union. I'm proud to stand strong and tell people I will fight for unions. I will fight for workers. I will fight for the middle class. And I've proven not only that I'll fight, but that I'll get it done. In the 8 years that I've been in office, no one has accomplished more for middle class, hard-working, labor community members like yourself than I have as a council member.
That's right. Yeah.
This is Texas. It's a right-to-work state. We're not supposed to be pro-union. We're not supposed to have strong unions. But I was honored to serve as president of Local 975. And to my brothers and sisters, thank you all so much. You know, people ask me, when I decided to run for city council, people said, well, aren't you going to miss those guys? Aren't you going to miss it all? Well, of course. But I'm not leaving any of it behind. I brought them all with me. And each and every day, Everything that I learned and the men and women that I work with are part of every decision that I've made as an elected official. And I thank them for their service. I thank them for their friendship. I thank them for their brother and sisterhood at Local 975. Thank you all. Let's be very clear, if you hadn't heard it already, there is a big difference in the two candidates running for mayor of Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
My opponent's highest priority, his highest policy priority, and his first thing that he'll do on the job is give a tax break to millionaires. Give a tax break that benefits the wealthy the most. I have never heard of a tax break for millionaires that benefited members of LiUNA.
Never.
I've never heard of a tax break for millionaires that benefited members of AFSCME.
Never.
And I dang sure hadn't heard of a tax break for millionaires that benefits firefighters and public safety personnel in our community. We need to have someone who understands that you can help folks with affordability, that you can help folks make ends meet, but you have to have policies that affect all of your constituents, not the 1% and not the rich and not the few. Everyone deserves tax breaks. Everyone deserves a leader and a mayor that will fight for them and represent them. And I refuse to get behind a plan, no matter how politically expedient it might be for me to say, I'm going to give you a 20% homestead exemption first day I get in office. I know that it's wrong, and that it benefits people who don't need it, and the people who need it the most are the ones that are going to end up having to pay for that tax break, and we're not going to have it. You may have seen the paper this morning. You may have seen some social media posts, some tweets. They're proud. They raised over $1 million. They broke every fundraising record. We don't need all the money in the world. We have the people that will help us win this race. We have the workers that will help us win this race. A $350 check from a worker, that's half the rent. That's the utility bills. That's a month's worth of groceries. But your legwork, your voice, your fight is invaluable. That supersedes any campaign contribution limit we might have in Austin, Texas. And you being here today proves that. And you working with me over the next 6 days. And you got to help me, because we can win this. But I want you to think of 10, 15 people that live in Austin, Texas that may not be thinking about this runoff. It's holiday mode. It's cold. It gets dark early. We're thinking about Christmas. But we have the most important election in our city's history. You saw the other candidates that were here. This is a new government coming in for the first time ever, single-member district, something I fought for way before getting on the council. It is time that this government reflected its community and not the select few, not the special interest, and not the power folks that have been running our town for way too long. It is time we have the strongest voice in there. So there are a few things you can do. You can volunteer starting today, 2002 Maynard Road. Come to our campaign office. Say that you'll make phone calls. Say that you'll knock on doors. Grab a list that covers your neighborhood and go walk your own street. Talk to your neighbors. Call your family. Call your friends. Tweet it out there if those of you are on Twitter, @Councilman Mike, #Mike for Mayor. It all matters. It all makes a difference. But I cannot do it without you. And I have not gotten here, and I have not been here without you. There are so many issues that our city faces, but our city is a great city. Don't get me wrong. We love Austin, Texas, but it can be better. There are things that we can do better, and that's exactly what we've been doing. I've been doing for 8 years at City Hall. Fighting for teachers, fighting for laborers. I started out with $4.50 an hour as a day laborer right here in Austin, Texas when I moved here in 1988. I know what it's like to show up at the job site and be told there's no work today. And then I got back on that bus and went back to my apartment, and I was going to school at Austin Community College at night with the hope and a dream to become an Austin firefighter someday. I've lived 2 dreams of a lifetime. I got to be an Austin firefighter, and I got to be a council member. But why stop there? Let's go for a third. Let's be I can't thank you all enough. But I have to thank my wife, who's here. She's been there every single day since we started this campaign, taking care of our boys and making sure that they had what they need to get to school, to get home, so that I can be out here campaigning and working. She's been at almost every event that she can possibly attend with me. We don't do this alone. She works for Senator John Whitmire out of Houston, Texas, and if you don't know John Whitmire, you need to get to know that man.
Absolutely.
He's a great man, but I know he's a great man because of Laura Wendler, just like I'm a decent man because of Laura Wendler. Thank you, Haley, so much. So we've been campaigning for almost a year. We got 6 days left. We can do this standing on our head. But we need you to stand on your feet. And we need you to block walk. We need you to phone bank. We need you to knock on doors. We need you to reach to people that you hadn't thought of in a year or 2 or 3. Call them up. Tell them it's time. You can be the difference. And we can win this race. But I need your help. So I need you to sign up today. I need you to donate to the campaign if you haven't. I don't care if it's $5 or $50. We need your help in any way possible. I want to thank my campaign team, Matt Parkerson, my campaign manager. I want to thank all of you for being here today. The general presidents, President Saunders, O'Sullivan, Schaitberger. It all means has always been known as the city that's progressive and that's forward thinking and that does the right thing. Let's make sure we stay on that path. Let's do the right thing, and let's have the strongest voice for working class, middle class, everyday Austinites in the mayor's office. I need your support. Vote for Mike Martinez for mayor. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all.